Hey guys, Pro Evolution here. Today I'm going to be talking about my assault loadout for Battlefield 4. So basically, let's get straight off here into the weaponry here for the assault, primary weapon I use for the assault class. As you can see, it's the L85A2. It's one of my favourite weapons of all time. On Xbox One, if you actually check out Battlefield 4 Battlefield, I think it's BF4stats.com. You can find me on the L85A2 in the top 10. Currently at this video, on the recording of the video, 14,000 and over kills with this weapon. I quite like it because of the stats of it, as you can see, with the damage where it's the second most in all the things. It's got the best range you can get in the game. It hasn't got the best accuracy, but it's got pretty good accuracy for the rate of fire compared to something like the AN94. The hip fire is pretty good, especially when you put on like a laser sight onto it. And the stability is good, but the drift on the recoil isn't as good. So let's get straight into the accessories for the weapon. We got the hollow sight. I tend to use a hollow sight over most of these because with the L85A2, the range is kind of good for mid ranges, as it states on the description of the gun there. As you can see, it's right on the accessory, on the hollow sight below the details. As it states, it's a mid range engagement with also close quarters. I tend to use it for both. I tend to use it all the time, actually. I never tend to use the Cobra or the Coyote. My personal choice is Cobra over Coyote, even though it's got quite a clear sight. I tend to prefer the hollow though. It's just my personal preference. And then with the accessory, I've got the green laser sight because it helps, with the hip fire. Yeah, it's pretty good with the hip fire. Wait, what does it say? Via 25% reduction in the hip fire. I just prefer the colour of it because it kind of suits the paint of the weapon. And also, it's just different compared to all the other laser sights because they're all red except from this one. And that one's 3 laser beams. So I prefer the green laser sight. Then for the barrel, we got the Compensator. As I said earlier, it stops muzzle drift, which tends to be a problem with the L85 because the climb on the climb on the gun when you shoot it isn't as it's controllable, unlike the drift. So I tend to put a compensator on it, or either a suppressor. Suppressor tends to be good, but I mainly use a compensator to stop it drifting side to side. And then for the underbarrel, I tend to use a potato grip because if you didn't notice on the stats, it has a penalty towards accuracy. So if I just slap on, like a potato grip or stubby grip, does exactly the same. But potato grip, it kind of counteracts the compensator's penalty towards accuracy. And also, if you're wondering why I chose the potato grip over the stubby grip, I just prefer the look of it, plus the details of it, which it states, do not eat. I find that quite amusing. But then for the camo, the reason I chose Flat Autumn over the default is because the default one doesn't look as nice. It just looks more, I don't know, it's just not appealing. It's not really a nice colour. It looks kind of sickly. So if I put on the Flat Autumn, it actually looks like the actual L85A2 default skin, if you were to see the army use it, or if you actually see it go to support on this one, it's exactly the same, to be honest. Well, if it actually loads, yes, it's pretty much the same because it's completely different. That's from that one. It's the camo on the L86A2 is more closer to the realistic one, and this one's better than the default one, so I tend to use that. I kind of like it with snow as well, but that's besides the point. I like it flat autumn. And then by secondary, I use the M1911. I sometimes use the Deagle and the P226, but I prefer the M1911 because it's kind of a balance between the two weapons. So for the M1911, the optic, I tend to use the iron sights because I prefer that over all the rest of them. It's just generally more nice, and it's not as distracting as the Ghost Ring or any other of those attachments. Then for the accessory, I tend to use laser sight. I would use a green one, which I prefer, but the only problem with that is the fact that I don't have it. And then for the barrel, I use the suppressor obviously over any of the rest of it because the stability is quite good, plus it's just nice to have a suppressor on it. And for the camo, I use flat snow because it's quite nice. For my gadgets, or you know, kind of items you can equip. I put defibrillators and medic bag. Grenades, I tend to use RGO Impact or M67, sometimes Flashbang, but that's what I had previously equipped for when I was playing in a competitive match with a bunch of friends, against another bunch of friends. And when the competitive rules are applied, you can't use RGO Impacts because they're OP. So Flashbang I was using, and then I used for the knife, I used a C100 knife over all of these knives, even though I have them all, because it has the bipod in it, plus it's a reference to Battlefield Friends, which is one of my favourite Battlefield series, obviously, and it's just quite a nice YouTube series, and it's just a kind of a comedy knife, you know, and I've already got over 100 kills on it, so, oh god, 100 kills on it, so I use that. And then for the field upgrades, I tend to use Combat Medic when I'm running with a friend. If not, I tend to use Offensive because nobody gives you ammo on this game, so it's nice to have that ammo increase. For the camouflage, I never touch the soldier camouflage, and then I put the DPM6 on all the camouflages. So that's it for the kind of, you know, looking at all the details on the assault loadout. So now I'm going to give you a little show of how the gun performs at certain distances. If you can't see the ranges there, it says on the target it's 29 meters. So I'm going to be shooting at a variation of ranges and just showing you how the accuracies are like, and the stability, and just how it performs in general. So as you can see, it's quite good. And if you didn't know, over distances, the accuracy the damage, tends to drop. And obviously on this game, Battlefield, it has quite good physics, so the bullets tend to drop over distances, if you didn't know. And I tend to burst fire it because it's quite good for the stability and the accuracy of the gun. So that's 93 meters. I can't tell because it's quite bright. But then we've got moving targets here. A bit hard to shoot. So we've got slow kind of moving targets. This is like jogging speed. This is like this kind of speed without sprinting. Just trying to hit the targets. I'm not very. Haven't played Battlefield in a while. So there we go. Got the first target. If you're only one man shooting one per, one target per kind of pair of targets, this because it's to conserve ammo. I'm not going to shoot both the targets, otherwise that would just be pointless. It's quite hard to hit. Oh my god! Oh, I was going to say it's quite hard to hit targets at distances, which it is, to be honest. But I'm not very good at long distances with this weapon, even though it is kind of a mid-range weapon. You'd think I'd be able to hit. Oh yeah, there we go. I got it. So, as you can tell, if you can tell from my poorly performed, shooting, you'd be able to tell it's quite a good gun. I'm going to show you now what it's like if you just hold the trigger down with the attachments I've got on. As you can see, it just tends to climb a bit. It doesn't do much drifting. And this is what it's like if I'm actually using the thumbsticks. It stays within a certain proximity. This isn't the best example. I'll use this actually and just. As you can see, it's only a little bit off. They don't really do much. I forget what it's called where they calibrate it, so you can see it's quite a big distance between where it shoots and where it actually displays on the on this block here or some sort. I don't know what to call it on this barricade. So this is the M1911 performing. It's not bad. It's good within kind of close quarters. I wouldn't suggest using it over distances. I'd say 50 meters max, but you can go above that because the damage, as I said, the damage decreases over range, and plus, the bullet drop goes down quite a bit. So I'm reloading fully because it takes about, I think it takes about a couple shots to try and get this one up here. So I'm gonna have to reload again. And there we go, got the target. That was 90 meters. This is 93 meters here, or 92. I'm not even gonna bother hitting the moving targets because it's just so bad. But I nearly got that target, so just a few more shots on that one, and then we'll be done. My god. And target's down, there we go. So as you can tell, it's quite good, so I'm just going to bury the trigger. It's quite accurate, it stays within a certain proximity, but then if I drag it down, you know, it stays where I want it to go. So that's about it with these weapons. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to like and subscribe for similar content to this, because I'm going to be showing you my loadouts for the support, you know, the engineer, and the recon. Here's a quick look of what it is. So don't forget to check out those videos when they are uploaded on the channel, and hopefully you've enjoyed this.